Sanaa of a series of car bombings with dozens of people killed or injured. One of the blasts targeted a mosque and, according to the Reuters news agency, another hit the political headquarters of the Houthi movement. Well, the attacks come as peace talks aimed at halting the fighting in Yemen have been extended for another day. The UN-sponsored negotiations have been struggling to make progress since failing to start on time. Yemen's Foreign Minister Riyad Yassin has blamed the Houthi rebels, saying they're just sitting in their hotel rooms in Geneva. It follows nearly 3 months of Saudi-led airstrikes that have killed more than 2,500 people. Well, let's go straight to Hashim Mahalbara, who's in Geneva with the latest. So this latest news that we've heard about the car bombs only highlighting the need for some kind of resolution. How are they getting on?
Well, this is basically the latest developments from the capital. Sanaa will definitely have an impact on the talks here in the capital, Geneva. We do understand the United Nations envoy, Ismail with the Sheikh, is going to talk now to meet with the Houthi delegation and the representatives of the former President Ali Abdullah Saleh in their hotel, and asking them to start talks with the different factions to find a solution, particularly about the humanitarian truce. The international community, the Americans, they have been reaching out to the different parties, telling them you have to have an agreement before you leave back to your country. It's a very delicate situation. If you don't have an agreement, that situation will just further worsen in Yemen.
And Hashim, the main stumbling block is that neither side wants to move without the other side moving first. Is that it?
This is exactly the problem. Each side is entrenched, waiting for the other side to make some concessions. The Houthis say that we absolutely have no doubt in our mind that when we talk about a truce, it's the Saudis should stop the airstrikes across the country. The government says no. Our interpretation is the following. We want the Houthis to stop expanding and stop shelling civilians across the country. So you have two different narratives. And the international community with the United Nations are trying to find some sort of compromise. But I can tell you, from the people that I've been talking to, the sources, the different delegations, it's going to be extremely difficult to reconcile some of these differences in the coming days.
And these diplomats, I mean, they've obviously dealt with difficult, crises before. So presumably their skill is to come up with some kind of sequencing arrangement that everyone can be happy with.
Well, the thing now is we do understand that the international community, particularly the group of 16, these are nations which have influence in Yemen and have been trying to find a political solution between the different factions, are just willing to have them negotiate a truce, a 2-week truce, to be announced across Yemen that could send a positive signal to the Yemenis that finally the warring factions can talk together. And then they will start to talk about the Houthis pulling out from the areas they control. If that phase is reached, then they are ready to talk about a political settlement and a power-sharing government, drafting of a new constitution, setting aside the differences and thinking about a new chapter in Yemen. But everyone agrees this is going to be a long way to go.
OK, Hashim, thank you very much indeed for bringing us the latest on those protracted talks there in Geneva. Thank you.